Okay, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Anahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulihil kareem amma ba'd. So we've been discussing the first pillar of contract. So we are here in the class, in the chapter called Theory of Contract. So far we discussed the definition of contract, and then we talked about the pillars of contract. So we said there are three pillars. The first one is how you do contract. So here it comes, it is expression, or you can call it shigha, which includes offer and acceptance. And then the second pillar is about who, the party or the parties, al-aqidan in Arabic. Then number three is what. So whatever that you are dealing with, the properties, the products, so that is what we call subject matter. In Arabic, it is called mahal al-aqd, or the property on which a contract is concluded. So these are the three pillars according to the majority of the fiqh, majority scholar. We also discussed about Hanafi. According to them, it is only two pillars. According to, you can see that in this image. According to Hanafi, it is only two, which is ijab and qabul, which means the offer and acceptance. These are the two pillars. But with regard to, according to the majority, you have three pillars. The first one, it is called expression. Then you have ijab and qabul comes under expression. But this ijab and qabul, they are the two pillars of Hanafi. Then according to majority, the second pillar is the contracting parties, and then the third pillar is the subject matter. So you are clear now with regard to the differences between these two school of fiqh, school of jurisprudence. Then now we are going to start discussing the first pillar of the contract. So today we are going to complete this first pillar, and then in the next class, inshallah, we are going into the second pillar. All right. Okay. The first pillar, it is called expression, which includes the ijab, the acceptance, and also the offer. Ijab means offer. Qabul means acceptance. So this is, in Arabic, it is called shigha. So expression, in Arabic, it is called shigha. So what exactly it is? It is a consent. What we call it, a mutual consent. So without this consent, no one can actually do any exchange. So this is something, it is something with regard to your intention, but you still need to show that you are intending to sell something. That's why you will be, whether you will be saying okay, you will be saying all right, let's do it. You know, these are the things. You will clearly tell Sayajual, I sell or I buy. So this is what the way that you show the expression of mutual consent, because this is intangible. This is a mental fact, right? No one can actually identify unless you show an expression. Therefore, this intention must be manifested in sufficient form. So that's the reason why you are using the words. Sometimes you are using the conduct. The conduct that indicates a definite intention to contract. So what is the definition of sigha? A sigha is a method to manifest the intention to contract. A method to show that you really want to sell something. It is the method that you are expressing your intention that you want to sell something or you want to buy something. This is what we call shigha. So it consists of two most important element, which is ijab and qabul, because this shigha can happen only between two parties. So this expression cannot happen only one. Remember, when I say two parties, not necessarily it has to be two human being. It could be one human being, the other one is machine. But you need to know that someone is using the machine to sell things to you. For example, you are buying from a vending machine. There is no human being inside the vending machine. So somehow you push the button and then you get it. This is also kind of shigha expression that you are doing. But on the other side, the vending machine, it is not just only machine, because later a human being will come and collect the money. So this is what human being using the machines to ease the process of this sale. Similarly, it goes to online shopping as well, whether it is e-commerce, or whether it is the hospitality business, or whether it is e-hailing. All right, you know e-hailing, for example, the Grab and the Uber, or whatsoever the food items delivery. All these things, you are using a device to express your offer or your qabul, right? So this is also happens. So whatever it is, when a method that you have and you want to use that method to express your intention, then it is actually that method particularly called shigha. The contract is concluded when the connection between the ijab, offer, and qabul, acceptance, takes place. So this is where the contract is happening. It has to happen simultaneously, which means that it has to happen in the same place. It's not like you show your intention last week and then today someone is maybe next week someone will accept it. So the thing will not happen the moment you show your intention. The thing will be concluded when someone accepting your offer. The moment that someone accepting your offer, that is the moment where the contract will take place. It won't take place if you only show the if you only show the offer that I want to sell this. It won't happen until someone accepted it. It could happen on the same time, or it could happen later. But when it happens later, you have to be there, or the device that you are using to do this, it has to be there. So somehow something is actually representing you, whether you are your device or your system or your agent. For example, when someone wants to sell something today using the e-commerce platform, it's like you actually using the agency to sell something. So on your behalf, the agency is actually doing the work, even though it is your project, but your agency is there 24/7. They are taking care of it. So it has to happen. But when these two parties comes together, then the contract is happening. So this is what we call it. This is what we call it expression or shigha. Okay. Now, this slide is going to give you some differences based on what we discussed earlier. According to Hanafi, pillars of contract is only 2. According to majority, it is 3. So now, if you read this slide, it might be confusing you, but let me give you an explanation before you read this. We talked about offer and acceptance. We talked about ijab and qabul. So now, according to our understanding so far, the one who offer, he is the seller. The one who accept, the one is the buyer. For example, I have a phone and I'm selling, and you look at my phone and then you are interested to buy my phone. So now who is the seller? I am the seller because I show my phone and I wanted to sell it to you. So I am the seller and you are the buyer. So it is very clear, right? I am the seller, you are the buyer, and the product is the phone. All right. So now, according to the majority scholars, I am still offering. So I become what? I become ijab. I am the offerer. Since you are accepting, so the later considered, and the later will be, the one who accept will be the buyer. This is what according to the majority scholar. Offerer, acceptor. Offerer is the seller, acceptor is the buyer. But according to Hanafi, there is a different. According to Hanafi, they didn't want to fix the seller and buyer. They said whoever show the product or the intention, whoever starting the contract, he will be the offerer. Whoever comes next will be the seller. Whoever comes next will be the acceptor. See, you have offerer, you have acceptor. According to the majority, offerer always seller. Offerer always seller. According to majority, acceptor always buyer. Acceptor always buyer. But when it comes to Hanafi, that is slightly different. The difference is the one who starts the negotiation first become the offerer. For example, I have this phone and suddenly you come and ask, is it your phone is for sale? Is it your house is for sale? Is it your property, your car is for sale? For example, you are the seller, I am the buyer. I am the buyer, like what we discussed earlier. I am the buyer, you are the seller. Again, I made a mistake. I am the seller, you are the buyer, right? Like we discussed earlier. But this time what you are doing, you are the buyer, but you come and say, is it your phone is available for sale? Is it your property is available? Is it your car is available? So you are the first person who initiating, so you become the offerer. You become the offerer. And later, I'm the second person who actually selling my phone to you. So I am become the acceptor. So there is a difference between these two schools, but later you will know why this difference, what is the consequences of this difference. So now, let me now read the statement, the slide. If you still don't understand, you can ask me again, all right? According to the Hanafi, offer is a statement that comes from the party who first expresses his consent. And this could be from the buyer or the seller. The later is considered qabul. The majority of the fiqh school, offer is a statement that comes from the seller who as an owner of a property. Qabul is made by the buyer or the person to whom the subject matter of the contract is addressed, regardless as to whether this comes first or later. Majority scholar, they don't mind whether who starts what. It is fixed. According to the majority school, offer always comes from the seller, and acceptance, the qabul, always comes from the buyer. If the first statement comes from the buyer and the second statement comes from the seller, the later is considered offer while the former is acceptance. For instance, if a buyer in a sale contract offers to buy the goods from the seller by saying, I bought this book from you for ringgit 100, to which the seller replied, I sold that book to you for ringgit 100. See, you are selling, you are opening the shop, you are there. Suddenly you have many product. Let's say you are in the bookshop, and then suddenly a buyer comes and then says, I am buying this book for 100. In reply, the seller said, okay, saya jual. In this example, you say saya jual, I sold, but you say number 2, not first. You say second. So in this case, according to Hanafi's view, it was the buyer who has said the ijab, being the first person who manifested the intention to contract. On the other hand, according to the others' view, the majority's view, the word of seller is the ijab. The word of buyer is not ijab. The word of seller is the ijab, since he was the owner of the book. All right. I hope you understood this. But if you have issues, of course, you can. If you need some explanation, you can actually ask me. All right.
Sir,
Yes. Go ahead.
sir, I want to ask. So, based on according to the Hanafi, I give an example, and so you
Yes.
see whether it's correct or not. So
Yes.
today, I'm going to see my friend, but
Yes.
suddenly I see he own a new car.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask him, hey
Mm.
brother, are you going to sell your car?
Yes. Correct.
And then after this, if my friend is going to sell his new car to me, so
Yes.
in this situation, is it
Mm.
totally and definitely for the no wait so now my friend is going to sell his new car to me, but
Yes.
I am the first person to initiate this contract. So
Mm. Then you become offerer.
yes.
Then,
So if me and my friends already become expression, which is so in this condition, I will become the seller and my friend will become the buyer, something
no,
like
no,
that.
no, 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 no. Don't confuse with seller and buyer. Seller and buyer, it's like the how the universe understood. The same. It's not changing. Seller and buyer, it's not changing. In any circumstances, according to the majority, according to everybody, according to the universe, your friend is the seller and you are the buyer.
Oh, okay,
There is
okay.
no doubt. But
So,
here we are talking about offerer and acceptor. Offerer.
oh, okay,
The one who offer, the one who accept. So in this example that you said, you are the offerer.
yes. You put as
According to
yes.
Hanafi, you are the offerer. So you comes with ijab. This is what we call ijab, means offerer. And then your friend will be acceptor, which means qabul. In Arabic, it is qabul. But according to the majority scholars, since you are the buyer, then you are the acceptor. Since your friend is the seller, he will be the offerer. That's the difference. Now you
Yes,
understood?
yes, sir. So, based on the example that I given just now, so can I say that because I'm the first person to start this
Initiate. Yeah.
yes, I'm the first person to initiate it. So I will become the ijab, right?
Exactly.
My friend will become the Kabul. Although
Exactly.
my friend is going to sell his car to me, I'm going to accept it. But
Exactly.
because
Exactly.
because I'm the first person to start the contract.
Exactly. You are right. You are
But
right.
but for the majority of the fixed school, it's like no matter who come first, if you
Yeah.
are going to sell me something, you are the ijab. But and the buyer are going to become a Kabul.
Perfect. Perfect. You
Okay.
said right. You said correct. Yeah. This is
Okay.
the difference. Yeah. But later you will understand why we are talking about this difference, because it has a lot of meaning. Um, to make things smooth, especially the modern day transactions that we are doing today. It is something that useful to understand this difference, because today the way that we are doing the transaction, it is not the traditional way that we are doing. So according to Hanafi, it will be more flexible if it is that way. So later inshallah we will discuss about it. Yeah. Okay. Okay, is it clear everyone? Okay, you let me know if it is not clear. The forms of expressing consent. What are the forms? Okay, now I said you have to initiate the expression, right? We also talked about what exactly the definition of expression. So now, what exactly the method of expression? In what way I can actually initiate my expression? Usually, like from the beginning of the time, it always used the spoken words and the verbal communication. Okay, people come and say, sometimes you go to the market, even today you go to pasar malam, people always call you to come and buy. Like for example, if you go to pasar Ramadan, even for Raya, pasar Raya, you go there and then you will see people calls you, they ask you to come and buy. And they also tell you, you buy three, it's 10 ringgit, you buy four, it is 15 ringgit. So these are the things so verbal and spoken words, definitely it's everywhere. At the same time, you need to also understand that what kind of transaction that you are doing. Sometimes it is sale, but sometimes it could be rental. Sometimes it could be service oriented. You see, for example, if someone selling Kowe, let's say the water dispenser, it's not that you are actually going to pay the entire money and buy the Kowe dispenser. It's like there is an option for you to do renting. So let's say you will be paying money monthly, or you will be buying, but you will pay installment, right? There are also some other contract like mortgage, like waqaf. So these are the things are there. So you need to understand, before you get into the expression, you need to understand what kind of contract you are in. All right, and then you must also show the definite intention. And again, another most important element in this expression is actually you have to use the present tense and the past tense. You cannot use the for future tense. Future tense is just only indicating that you have the intention to sell or intention to buy. It doesn't mean that you bought it. Or so now when you are using this verbal communication, you need to use the present tense. For example, I sell this to you. Or you can say past tense, I sold this one to you. I buy this one from you. Or I bought from you. So these are the past tense and present tense is actually clear, is indicating that you have the intention, also you bought it and you did it. But when you say, I will buy your house, I will buy your phone, I will sell my car, this is all actually showing that you have the intention, but it didn't happen. That's because it is in the future tense. Yeah. So this is what you see here. The most obvious form through which consent could be expressed is through spoken words or verbal communication. Any phrase and words are acceptable as long as they reflect the intention of the offer or to make an offer. See here, it is not that you have to use the word only. For example, saya jual, saya beli, I sell, I buy. Not necessary that you have to use only the word buy or sell. Think about it. How many other words are there? For example, when you go and start initiate something that you want to buy, always you ask what? You ask berapa, how much. The word how much comes first. Yeah, this is for 100. Okay, take it. Okay, take it. See, the word take it means it indirectly shows that he sold it. And as a buyer, you go to the market and then you want to buy something. Okay, give me the black one. Okay, I'll take black one. I take black. I take red. So when you said I take, the word I take is equivalent to saya beli. I I bought it, right? So now not necessarily you have to use the word buy or sell. You can use any word that is equivalent to this word. You may have some other words. You think about it. If you have some other words, you let me know. I also will learn that some other words. So recently, if you happen to buy some food, sometimes you will tell that okay, I want this menu, I want this, I want number, I want this number. All right, and then in after they sell it to you, they don't even say, they don't even tell you I sold this nasi goreng to you. They will tell 6 ringgit 50 cent. So when they say 6 ringgit 50 cent, which means that they are selling to you. When you said okay, and then you give 6 ringgit 50 cent, which means your money that you are giving 6 ringgit 50 cent, and then you said okay, okay, I have 6 ringgit 50 cent. Then the word okay here is actually becoming that you are accepting. You are actually buying. So you need to know any phrase, any words are acceptable as long as they reflect the intention. However, the words used show a definite intention to form a particular contract. It has to be definite intention, not like for example boleh, for example possible, I will think about it, I'm still thinking, I'm still negotiating, I need to ask my father, I need to ask my wife. These are the things. It's not definite intention. All right, these are the things cannot be there. So when you do that, definitely the things won't happen. All right, when you say I'm thinking, definitely the contract is not happening until you firm and you said okay, I'm good now. Okay, I decide, I have decided I want to buy. So these are the definite words. Words should also indicate whether the contract made by the parties is a sale, waqf, rent, or a mortgage. Both present and past tense may be used to express a valid offer, while words used to show intention to offer in future or to ask for confirmation are not enough. For example, the phrase I will sell the house to you, I will sell the house to you, only indicates a promise to sell in the future, but it is not a contract. A contract may be also concluded by writing, like I told you just now, verbal communication. Similarly, the verbal communication can be also given in writing. For example, when an email sent offering a specific object for sale for a specific price, this amount to a valid offer which will be binding on the offer. So people started selling using email last time, but today they are selling through app, right? Through web, of course, web or through the applications. This is all actually concluded by writing. So when the moment you go and you said, when the moment you go and you click, check out, and then the moment you go and then you pay from your bank or from your card, there is, and then you said I agree, you look there is a button I agree, you will see the expression comes under the word I agree. I think most of us, we don't read when we click I agree, but if you happen to read, go ahead and read. That is what the form of expression that you want to buy this product from that seller. It is an expression, but this time this expression is concluded by writing. Every time you do this, every time you order for food, you actually click check out, and then you click also I agree, and then you pay for it. It is your expression that you are showing in writing. A person who cannot express his consent, for example, a person like a, for example, the one dumb or someone that cannot speak, so they can also use the gestures. For example, like this, I like this, I okay, like this, I okay, I take it. So any kind of gestures that they are showing a sign, for example, a sign will be equivalent to speech. So this is for the people who cannot speak. What about I'm not using verbal communication? I don't use verbal communication. I don't use writing communication. At the same time, I'm not dumb. I'm not someone that who cannot speak. I'm not someone who cannot see. I'm a normal, ordinary person. Can I also use my action to conclude a transaction? I mean, I'm not using my word. I'm not using my writing. At the same time, I'm a normal person, not like a dumb. I'm not a normal person. So now, can I use my action to conclude my contract? Yes. A contract may also be concluded by action. You don't have to speak. You just see each other, and then it is called mu'ata. For example, this is what happening today. It's like what happening cash and carry. You go to supermarket, you surf, you go around, you choose the product that you want, you put those things in your trolley, and then you drag your trolley until the cashier. You see the cashier, but you don't talk. You take your products and you put it in front of the cashier, and the cashier see, and then she or he starts scanning the products, and then you see the money, and then she will show you this is the money, how much you have to pay. Some of them they will tell 67 ringgit 50 cent. Some of them they don't tell, they will show you. That's because they want you to pay quickly and then get out this place, because there are other people waiting. So they want you to get out as quickly as possible, because the line, the queue is there. So now there is no verbal writing, there is no verbal communication, there is no writing communication. There is only action. You take, you put it, and then they take it, they scan it, and then they show you the price. So what's happening right now here, you are actually indirectly showing your consent that you want to buy this, because you know the product what you want to buy, you are the one who chose it. So remember, who is the offerer here and who is the acceptor here? In any supermarket you go, because they have all the products, of course, but they are not particularly selling the product to you. They are not particularly selling this product to you. You are the one who choose the product that you want, and then you are the one comes and then you put it back to the cashier. So now, according to Hanafi, look here, you are the offerer. You are the offerer. Even though you are the buyer, but you are the offerer. You are offering something that you want to buy. And then the seller will scan it and then will ask you to pay. Then he is the acceptor, because he accepts that he is ready to sell this particular product that you brought all the way from the shelf to the cashier board. So this is what the things are happening. So here you cannot completely say that I am, since I choose all the product until the cashier cashier table, I will become the acceptor. Because here I am offering something. I'm saying, okay, I'm ready to buy this. I'm ready to buy all these things in my trolley. So please offer me so please give me the price. So this is how it's happening. So now it is relevant when it comes to cash and carry. What Hanafi says is relevant. So this is what one of the things that I wanted to point out. So now a contract may also be concluded by action. It is the seller delivers the commodity to the buyer without any expression of words. It is in fiqh, it is known mu'acha, ta'ati, murawada. This simply refers to the conduct of a seller displaying commodity for sale attached to its price and pays the seller the price. Customarily, this indicates that the parties consented to the transaction. Customarily, it is accepted because this is our lifestyle. Maybe it was not there before 100 years, but now it is already here. Because last time you have to go and ask for something, you need to stay outside the criterion sheet and then you have to ask for it. Maybe you haven't seen that thing. Maybe if you ask your parents, they will tell you, last time you need to go to criterion sheet, you have to ask for it, and then the person inside go and then he will take and he will give it to you. But now it's no more. I can go inside, I can choose what kind of variant, because if I have to buy soaps, there are hundreds of types of soaps, hundreds of the variants, hundreds of the genus, right? So I can choose whatever that I want. So I'm easing the process because I'm not actually giving more difficulty to the seller. The seller has given everything. My job is to go and choose what I need. All right. So this is what happening is concluded by action. But what if there is no person in the supermarket? Right? Now you are dealing with a seller, I understand. As a human being, you are taking as a buyer. As a human being, there is a seller and he or she is actually collecting the money from you. But what if there is no human being? Like what we are talking about here is actually a vending machine, the ATM machines, the dispense food and drink. Even tomorrow you will be seeing more shopping complex, more shopping market. You will see a robot. The robots are going to operate this. So this is going to happen. Even right now in somewhere in Emirates, I think they already have it. You just stay in your car and then you go and you pick all your groceries, and then when you come out from the mall, automatically deducted from your credit card or your debit card. Because the car will be scanned for the items that you have, or every time you take the items from the market, it comes with the barcode. Every time you take it or every time you keep it in your trolley, the trolley will scan your product and then it will be added, it will be deducted from your debit card. So there is no human being at all. So this is also the modern means of communication, such as fax, and the internet is included under writing. It can be also concluded through automatic teller machines, ATM. People, even they pay the electric bills and everything through ATM is also happening. Machines that dispenses food and drink or coins are considered to be return exchanges. All these things actually, comes under this. So now what I want you to understand, we are discussing all this. This is what we are doing in our life. We are doing it, but you need to understand, it's not common, or it's not general for a religion to come in to guide you the right way of doing, or understand, or make you understand the right way of doing. It is not actually common. It is impossible for any religion to go to the extent that Islam went, because the Sharia is comfortable and Sharia is comprehensive even to talk about the buying and selling. But if you talk about some other religion, they don't have this kind of discussion when it comes to selling and buying. For them, they can sell anything, they can buy anything, right? Including the vast majority religions in the world, they don't discuss how you do the transactions. They don't discuss how you offer your job, how you do your job. They don't discuss how you earn your money. So, but Sharia, our Sharia, Islam, is actually comprehensive to talk about it. That's the reason why the literature in Sharia is quite rich. And that's because starting from 8th century, there are so many books written in this. And it is all called al-fiqh al-Islami. Then you have a fiqh al-Muamalat, which means that transaction, fiqh of transaction. Then we have fiqh al-Muasharat. It doesn't stop only in Muamalat. It doesn't stop only in transaction. We also have jurisprudence fiqh for family life, for social life, for legal items, I mean legal terms. We have so many sections because this jurisprudence is a discipline. It can go to any part of your life. There is no place where jurisprudence didn't go. I mean the Islamic jurisprudence. So this is what I wanted to do. Just note this point. The Sharia is comprehensive enough to cater, to understand, to make you understand, to tell you what is the right thing to do, what is the wrong thing to do. And it's clearly a guidance. Clearly a guidance. No one can come and say, Sharia is not talking about this, so I don't have any guidance. Not like that. It has guidance for every single thing, right? So this is, now you can see that it is also flexible. You can do with verbal, you can do with writing, you can do with action. So now we are going to talk about, yes, please.
Sir, sorry to cut you off. I want to ask. So, under the ijab and the kabul, actually for the meaning like seller and buyer, it is like for everyone. Like you sell thing, you definitely become seller, and you buy thing, you definitely become buyer.
Yes.
But if according to the Hanafi or the majority of the fixed school,
Yeah.
if we need to depend their concept. Like let's say if according to the Hanafi, sometime or offer and also for the accentor
Yes.
will change right. But for the
Yes.
fixed already fixed one. No
Yes.
matter who come first, you will become what.
Yes, correct.
And one more thing, sir. So, if for the condition like in the supermarket,
Mm.
so because now the seller already put the commodity on the shelf.
Mm.
So today we are going to buy it, right? Can
Yeah.
I say that like today I choose this supermarket,
Mm.
so I am the person who start the contract first. Am I
Yes.
right?
Yes, correct. The moment you went inside the supermarket, you are actually initiating, because they kept everything there. Definitely they have started, they have initiated long ago. Of course they kept everything, all the commodities there. But the moment that particular moment of selling and buying, the particular moment that you are inside, now you are the one who actually initiating the contract by picking from the shelf the commodity, the product, and then going to the cashier table. This is where actually you are starting, you're initiating the sale, so you become the offerer according to Hanafiya.
Sure. So just now, you already mentioned that like we can use the action or the verbal and
Yes.
also through the machine. So
Yes.
all this is under the Hanafi concept.
That's what because it is flexible if it is if it comes under Hanafi, because you if you just keep that the ijab and qabul within only, you know, like what majority scholars are saying, it will be difficult sometimes to follow, because the Sharia has to be the guidance for everything, like I told you just now, right? Because Sharia Islam is actually always the guidance for everything. So now this is what the beauty of a different school of jurisprudence. So now if there is one jurisprudence is not good enough to show the guidance for this kind of circumstances, there is another jurisprudence school is actually showing the guidance. So that is how we come up with today, even today, the thing that we are doing based on that. Yeah.
So can I say that for the majority concept, it also can be flexible or cannot?
Can be flexible, can be flexible. I'm not saying cannot, but the thing is, it will be more relevant if you look in that way. So meaning to say, those for those who wants to elaborate or who wants to go deeply and to do some research, so of course they can talk about these two different schools. Other than that, in normal circumstances, it's not an issue. Actually, it's not a big issue, who is the offerer, who is the acceptor, because there is one thing that we all follow, which is actually custom. The customary way of doing is actually the customary way. Remember when I taught you the usulul fiqh, the principles of usulul fiqh, the secondary sources. Do you remember what are the secondary sources? We talk about ijma, qiyas, right? Istihsan. Do you remember we talk about uruf? Do you remember the word uruf?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Exactly. Uruf means what? Customarily accepted. Right? So customs also, customarily accepted also is a part of jurisprudence. So I think there is no issue, you know, to talk about whether who is the offerer, who is the acceptor. Most of the time, it is not actually pronounced. It is not pronounced, but it happens because people, when they want to buy something, they go and simply they buy, they come back. But there is something happening inside. This is what academically we are talking, because here we are to discuss the academic, you know, the academic background, what exactly happening behind, what is happening behind the curtain. This is what we are talking. We are not just discussing this because for the public maybe this information are necessary, but for academicians like us, when we are learning something, this is important for us to understand. Even there are some legal aspect as well. You know, if let's say this is okay, normally happens, the shopping market and selling and buying. What about someone wants to sell a big property, right? A property like worth of a billion ringgit or maybe millions. So in these, you know, there are so many legal aspect. So now they have to make agreement, right? They have to bring the both parties to sign the contract. You see, this is all, there are so many things, clauses will be there, statements will be there, act will be there. So in that particular time, yes, this the term like offerer and acceptor is important for them to write it down. So it's not in the normal circumstances, but this offerer and acceptor will come into discussion when you are selling the most important commodities, even sometimes the rare commodities. For example, there is a diamond and someone wants to buy it. There is a diamond in in an auction, or maybe there's a diamond in an auditorium, for example, in a museum, for example. So now someone came and wanted to, for example, a queen of a country, let's say someone come and then she wanted to buy it. So it's like she wanted to buy that from museum. The museum is not actually opening for sale, but she wanted to buy. She is a queen. She wanted to buy the diamond. So here the things will come. Who is the offerer? Who is the acceptor? So now the negotiation will go based on this offerer and acceptor. So this is all the next level of discussion, but it's okay for the normal public. It's not a big issue because we follow customarily accepted. Okay.
So,
Mm.
so in conclusion, can I say that all the action and through the verbal communication and also the machine,
Mm.
it actually can under Hanafi and also the concept of
Majority, yes, it's all based on all school. It's okay.
okay, thank you, sir. Understood.
Yeah. Okay. Because all those school of thought, they agree, everybody agree that you can do expression through verbal communication, through writing, through action. Everybody accept it. Okay, now let us go and talk about the condition of our offer and acceptance. So now the what are the conditions? They brought three conditions. You need to make sure that it is a clarity, and then the conformity, and then the continuity. Make sure these three C's when it comes to expression. The words used in offer and acceptance should be clear, should clearly indicate and express the consent of the parties with certainty. So there is not like, okay, I will buy iPhone. For example, someone come and say, I want to buy iPhone, or I sell iPhone to you. I sold iPhone to you for 3,000. Someone said this, I sold iPhone to you 3,000. You will be asking back, your expression is not clear because you said iPhone, you didn't say what iPhone. Is it iPhone 10? Is it iPhone 11 or iPhone 12? Even if it is iPhone 12, there are so many variants in iPhone 12. That's why clarity is important when you are buying something, when you are selling something. Conformity of offer with acceptance. For example, when a seller offers to sell two computers for around 3,000, the buyer should accept the offer and buy both computers for 1,000. He cannot buy one of the computers for 1,500. This is what we call conformity. Sometimes they sell two products for this price. They mention buy two for 50. Buy two dresses for 50 ringgit. But the price will be shown, the name tag will be there, 30 ringgit. Which means that if you buy one product, it's 30 ringgit. So if you buy two products, it's 50 ringgit. It doesn't mean that one product is 25 ringgit. It doesn't mean that you can buy one product for 25 ringgit. So this is what we call conformity. Conformity is clearly there. It has to be there. If you buy two, it's 30 ringgit. Sorry, if you buy two, it's 60 ringgit. So this is where the computers examples as well. 3,000 for two computers, but for one computer, not necessarily it has to be 1,500. This is what we call conformity. Continuity between offer and acceptance, which means acceptance should reach the offer within particular time or in the same session of contract. This is what we call majlis al-aqad. It has to happen in the same session. It cannot be, for example, someone gave you the information of the price and everything, the offer and everything today, and then you come back after 1 week and then you said, 1 week ago you gave me this price, 1 week ago you gave me this offer, I exactly wanted that. You cannot say that because he gave you the offer. If he willing to give is okay. If the seller willing to give you the same offer is fine, but the seller is not obliged. The seller is not obliged to give you the same offer like he promised you last week, because time changes and also prices also changes. So here it is the session of a contract. The session of a contract refers to a period of time in which an offer is made, negotiated, and accepted while both parties remain at the same place. This means that acceptance should be made before both or one of the parties separate and leave the place. If acceptance not taken within particular time, offer may not survive. The party who has made the offer has the right to withdraw or change the offer. The majority school of the thought are the opinions that an offerer can also withdraw his offer even within the session of the contract, but before an acceptance could be made. So he can actually cancel before the thing happened. So you wanted to buy, okay, then he brought the phone, and then suddenly before you pay the money, you say it's okay, Tana, I don't want that. You can do that. But according to the Maliki, on the other hand, argue that unless the offeree accept, offeree means the one who bring the things to you. Offeree accept or rejects the offer cannot be withdrawn within the session of the contract. They argue that the offerer, by making his offer, has established to the offeree the right to accept the offer. They say the offerer is bound by his offer until it is either accepted or rejected by the offeree, or when the session is over. So this is only the Maliki Imam say this, because when you said you wanted to buy the phone, and then you said, okay, I will buy the iPhone, and then he said 3,000 ringgit, and he brought the phone already. So now you saw the phone, I mean, of course it's a good phone, there is no problem at all, and suddenly you change your mind. According to majority is fine, but according to Maliki it is not fine until the one who is selling to you, he accept your reason. So this is what the different schools are there. Okay, so I think I stop here. Now let me go to the second one, second pillar we will discuss inshallah in our next class.